God damn, I am so fucking snotted up. There's lots of folks who like to pretend they don't have as much of a voice as they really do. You get to see when they're angry how they sure as hell do have a voice. A lot of people will fuck with you and tell you they don't know the right thing to do. They don't know who it needs to be turned into. Well, guaranteed if it was your friends or family members that you actually cared about, you'd fucking figure it out. Now for me, when I'm trying to explain to them who needs to be talked to, how complicated it's been made, and why the people who need to be talked to are the ones that need to be approached in specific, well, it all comes down to the situations as they've happened. Lucky for me, I recorded them. Not so lucky for me, I still don't have anyone to help me turn it in. The statute of limitations is limited, and every single time that they're allowed to do this to me, to refuse to investigate, refuse to look at evidence, force me into financial dire straits, and then pretend like it's my fault because I didn't try. Well, that's horse shit. Complete and total horse shit. Now where the hell is my keys for this damn thing? So in order for me to turn something in, I literally had to move here, change everything over to this godforsaken fucking shithole, stick around in a fucking area where I'm goddamn being victimized by a bunch of goddamn junkies, and of course, getting treated like I'm a goddamn junkie by the police because I'm fucking homeless. Woohoo, are you following so far? The point is, I can't fucking take care of myself. Y'all decided that it's okay to fucking take advantage of disabled people. And that's what I'm so goddamn pissed off about. You are all pieces of shit. All of you. Because if this happened to you, you wouldn't want to be blown off for months or literally years at a time while your predators get to do whatever the fuck they want. Spread whatever fucking slander they want, and those of you who know the truth never came forward because you're fucking cowards. I had to record you and post you on YouTube because you wouldn't help me to turn it into the police. And as a result, the police treated me like shit every fucking time, talking over me. You stupid cunts. Then, of course, we got goddamn junkies. Every fucking place I go, there's gonna be junkies. There is no town in America, no city in America that has not been penetrated by a bunch of fucking drugs. Then we don't have any good people left. We got nice people. But they don't understand that there's a fucking time limit to turn it into these pieces of shit! Or they get away with it! And I am stuck being victimized everywhere I fucking go! Because every single one of you are, in fact and indeed, pieces of shit who are too selfish to give a fuck about anybody else. You know, the simplest thing that people could have done when I called them about the crimes that were being committed against me, the simplest thing they could have done is to fucking help turn it in. All of them. They could have made the calls with me. Instead of saying, I don't know who to call, who do I call? Well, you need to call someone with me! We need to make a few calls because we're going to be told by everybody that it's not their fucking job! There has to be a fucking witness! You dumb shit! when you're called mentally ill. They can prevent you from showing evidence. Prevent you from seeing of course, facing your accusers. That's pretty fucking important, isn't it? They can hold court, private court, without anybody else there, and railroad you without a fucking jury, without any sort of goddamn representation. And that's as simple as it is nationwide. Nationwide. The cops here ain't the only crooked cops in the United States. And all of you fucking pieces of shit that'll make excuses for these goddamn cowardly fucking punk-ass bitches. Holy hell. Are you not seeing how many people they're fucking killing? I'll tell you something. If I seen you with an illegal cigarette, is it okay for me to choke you to death like the police would do? If you run away from me, is it right for me to blow your head off or shoot you in the back like a police officer would do? Before you go judging me for things that I could do, keep in mind any of you could do those things too. People should be judged based on the crimes that they commit, not what you pretend that they might, because you're all fucking cowards. When you actually commit crimes against me, all you gotta do is hide like a fucking coward. Play fucking victim. And why did I have to depend on fucking useless goddamn pieces of shit? Nut jobs from fucking web sleuth groups? Well, it's pretty fucking simple, because I never had any real friends. As a man, you don't get real friends. You get a mutual disrespect from just about everybody. Then we go to all these pro-man places, right? That's what they're supposed to be. But they're not. They try to tell you how to get dates. That's the bottom line with them. They try to get fucking pathetic, sad people there. They sit there and watch their shit all day because there might be a dating tip in there somewhere. Like, here's how to get the woman of your dreams. Oh, you don't want to put up with her lying to you and giving you all that bullshit? Well, go work on yourself. Go to the gym. Well, yeah. Maybe that's important to people who are actually trying to get a girlfriend or a wife. What about us who just want to build things? We just want to make stuff. We just want to use our brains and improve the world that we live in. Can you leave us the fuck alone at least? Is that too goddamn wrong? I was gonna park over in this parking lot, but I saw something that looked like it might have been a $5 bill back there, so I'm gonna go back and see. Sometimes I'm wrong. I've been trying to tell people what's going on here since I got here. And at least we have somewhat of a contingency. Somewhat. Inside, and there was something that they were gonna possibly refund onto my card because they billed it wrong, I guess. So I'm gonna see if it's back on there. If it ain't, I'll recheck the email. I can get those through my phones. It just takes forever for them to load up. It'll probably be 48 cents still, but only one way to find out. Now, there's all this stuff that people are telling me I got to do that all takes time, and it takes too much time. When somebody's victimized, they're supposed to do something about it right away. Not try to get them to jump through 10,000 hoops that are all fucking expensive. And the only person who gets any goddamn benefit is the people who are getting the tax dollars to do that job to begin with. The mandated reporters we go to who don't want to do their jobs. And of course, it's mandatory. They're supposed to. They apparently have to by law. But who's going to make them? Who's going to make them? Are you? Are you going to give a shit? No, you're not going to give a shit till it happens to you. And by then, of course, it's too late. If I got a refund on my card, then I can possibly get something to eat. If I didn't, well, I'm SOL. I did get lucky. I got to have a corn dog earlier, and I got like $1.70 something with macaroni and cheese even earlier in the day. Oh, nice. Somebody left a bunch of snipes out here in an area where they didn't get wet. I'll take them. Certainly better than nothing. I've seen Travis, I don't know, 2 or 3 times today. I don't think he's going to help me, and I don't think he's going to help me. You know what switchover is? It's actually coming back in the middle. But when I was a kid, the switchover is a vinegar. It's like vinegar. Back in olden days, it was like farmer Gatorade is what it basically is. But when you're sick, not a lot.
Grab it real quick.
Ain't no half cigarettes to grab. Somebody smoked them all. Yes, ma'am. I got like, I don't know, 4 little ones I picked up earlier. See, here's the problem with not having any real friends or family. For me, it always ends up being me listening to other people talk about themselves. But how is that going to help me? How does that get them familiar with my situation? And that's one thing about people offering to help me and not coming through. They don't recognize how hurtful that is, or how it helps the predator to get away. Alright, Mom's got some tobacco in it. Woohoo! What I thought was a $5 bill was definitely not a $5 bill. I was just wishful thinking. Y'all know that I must speak up no matter what. You don't stop to consider what it is that has been taken from you. You don't consider how hard it is to get someplace with absolutely nothing. Like, I was stuck fucking homeless from goddamn 18 years old until I was 37. Sorry, 36. That's right, 18 fucking years. And you know what? There was a few times in there where I did have a place. Wasn't my place. It was always somebody else's place with empty promises of if I do this and I do that and I pay this and I pay that. Oh, that shit's expensive and it's time consuming. And at the end of the day, you know what? People aren't gonna be honest. If they know you ain't got the money for a lawyer, who gives a fuck? You're not a person in the United States. I speak up for a reason. I'm tired of being fucking abused. And I'm tired of people fucking bitching at me about the shit that they're going through if they're not willing to do a goddamn thing about it. And all of this, oh, well, you gotta do it yourself. I am. Really, I'm seeing the position that you're living in. Most of y'all ain't any better off than I am. It's because you don't know how to work together. You just know how to bitch about yourself. Many of y'all won't go in and help a friend turn in stuff because when you've tried to turn it in, you've been fucking victimized. Well, that's all the more reason to not make the next guy go in by himself. Natalie Bollinger and her friends could have just left me the fuck alone when I left Virginia. How fucking difficult would that have been? Just leave me the fuck alone. Is that rocket science? No, it's absolutely not. I've been showing y'all a lot of RPGs and stuff like that. You know, the stuff that scares people. Oh my God, he's into rockets. Man, we better do something. He's scary, man. I don't know why they don't have him red flagged already. Shit, they probably do, if there's such a thing. See, that's the problem with not having any real friends or family. That any one of these goddamn pieces of shit at any point in time can victimize the fuck out of me and scream mentally ill, mentally ill. No, PTSD from abuse, and that includes neglect. I've had a lot of fake friends in my day. On the bright side, I continue to speak up and I continue to show the truth. Even if you don't fucking like it, even if it's not fucking popular. Oh yeah, and fuck the goddamn police. Well, I guess I got some ramen noodles that I could eat if I could go get some hot water somewhere. You have no idea how debilitating it is to have to go to turn in predators, an at-risk and disabled adult, and to have to do it alone. You have to do it with the victim. The least you can do is call it in on your own and record the fact that you did so. A lot of people wanted to pretend that they tried telling the police what was up. Did they ever try calling in with me? Did they ever make the time to do that? No. Did they ever save any evidence? What's the difference between the artards that wanted to pretend they were my friends and the people in the Zaid Atkinson situation? Well, Zaid Atkinson had a friend there who video cameraed the whole thing. And they were able to get the body camera evidence because people helped. Instead, you guys raped me for every goddamn thing I have. You tell me it's alright for people to threaten me and my friends and family. Of course, I don't believe that when my friends and family told me that their lives were being threatened. I don't believe them. Especially the ones who said their children's lives were threatened. Because if they were, they would have loved the help turning it in. And all these people want to pretend like they have to take the abuse that I go through every day. Pretend. Like that Andrew Wolnez feller. I do a pretty good job of keeping my cool despite the situation. But the problem is, ain't a goddamn one of you who said that you would help me done a goddamn thing to do anything actually, to turn anything in. I have to fucking beg you for goddamn months, over and over again, after you promise that you'll help. But you don't care. You want to tell me about all your personal problems, then you get all pissy when your personal problems are what I'm posting about. Why aren't you keeping your word? Because of those personal issues. If that's not the truth, that's not what you should have told me. If you want to tell me I slandered your name by telling the truth about a situation that you are recorded in. That's right, you are recorded. That actual recorded. If you want to play stupid when it's actually recorded, and you want to call it slander when it's actually recorded, you don't get to play victim. When I post up over and over again the fact that it's fucking recorded, Don't fucking victimize me. It's not fucking okay. Now let's play some more of this shit that gives you guys anxiety. Let's see. The bull spike, maybe? I was hoping he had one from the RPG too, but it happens, right? Bull spike is from Bulgaria, by the way.
Hello guys, today we will take a look at Bull Spike Bulgarian single-use RPG made by VMZ. Bull Spike have three versions: anti-tank, thermobaric and anti-personnel. Today we will take a look at the anti-tank version. This grenade launcher is supplied in 5 pieces per crate. Inside we can find the standard PG-22 warhead, basically the same warhead like on RPG-7, but with different type of motor. VMZ claim that they did some magic with motor. Basically, majority of the thrust is on the beginning and inside the grenade launcher. That should result in better accuracy. Caliber of the launcher is 72.5 mm. Able to penetrate 400 millimeters of rolled homogeneous armor. Where I see the big advantage over the RPG-22 NATO, which this launcher is based on, is the compactness, the very low weight, and also the easiness of use. Grenade traveling 133 meters per second. MC applied to be...
Oh, it froze up on me.
133 meters per second. VMC applied to be part of the Polish Soldier of Future program with this type of grenade launcher. Advantages over standard RPG-22 is that basically once you set the range...
I'm gonna go ahead and head. I've probably got a few cans that I could try turning in, but there's somebody behind me that looks like they're gonna try pulling out, so I'll give them a minute. Earlier I was talking to Brandon. Usually I go in and I get a coffee and then I drink it there and then I get a refill. And one of the guys out here that was getting talked to about me by one of them other fellers, he come over. He's one of the guys who runs the can thing over there. And he asked Brandon, what was it he asked him? Oh, he said, you've been here a while. He wanted to ask Brandon if I was bugging him, and Brandon was like, no. No, he's fine. He said, well, it's a good thing you said no. Yo. Or I'm glad you said no. Yo. I don't go running around causing problems. I just can only take so much shit before I literally have to defend myself. I can't just let people beat on me, you know? I can't just let people threaten to kill my friends and family. I can't just let people take advantage of me for the rest of my life. And any of you who would allow that, what the fuck kind of friends are you? I have to rely on strangers. A lot of these people, if they knew me in real life, probably would have stuck up for me immediately with situations and gone, hey man, leave that dude alone. But for a lot of them, that's not how it is. I didn't meet him until recently, at least within the last year. And a lot of them just simply didn't understand how fucked up a situation I'm in, or how much abuse I take. They don't understand why I'm angry, but they don't look at the abuse that I take. A lot of people don't understand why I don't move on and move elsewhere and so on and so forth. Do you stop to think about how expensive it is every time you got to move? How the fuck is somebody supposed to do that on disability money, on disability income? The other thing is, if you're going to let me have fucking housing, let me have housing. If I'm going to be living in assisted living because I'm fucking disabled, then goddamn it, fucking assist me where I need it. Instead of making it impossible to get fucking help. On the bright side, if there's people here who want to hurt me, I know that there are a few people here who aren't going to let them. That's pretty important. I've got pretty good peripheral vision, so I can see people pretty easily. I've got pretty good night vision, so I can see people pretty easily. I don't mean night vision like you see in the movies. I just mean I see better at night than most people do. Alright, it doesn't look like the person behind me is going to go anywhere. I guess I'm just going to turn off my car because I don't want to risk backing into somebody. They've been parked there for a while, so it should be fine, but at the same time, I'm paranoid. I'm a very paranoid driver. I did make enough for some coffee today. I got some gas today. It's not a lot, but I'm fucking glad to have it. Gotta help keep my phones charged. I should probably sit there all day tomorrow and hope that somebody kicks down something. More than $1 or $2, you know? I'm thankful for even if it's just $1 or $2. You notice if I only get $1 or $2, I'll make sure I get something to eat. Well, it looks like they backed out finally. Alright, now I can head. As soon as that person's done driving, anyway. Alright. I should be good to back up now. Nobody behind me. I'm not able to do for myself. And there's supposed to be people, these advocates, every one of them, who are supposed to help us when we're abused. They're supposed to help us turn it in. They're supposed to help us. If we have disabilities to prevent us from doing things, they're supposed to assist us with those things. Not send us around in goddamn circles and tell us to move. As soon as we almost have ourselves established somewhere, we've already been victimized to the point in an area that we gotta move. By we, I mean any homeless person who's a male out here doing this shit. Having to fucking survive on bullshit, on lies, on people's assumptions rather than actual facts. People don't care if you're telling the truth or not when you're a male. What they care about is fucking hiding. Pretending they don't know you. And that's why I fight so hard for assisted termination of life for people like me. Take me to Tillamook Sporting Goods.
Alright, Tillamook Sporting Goods. Let's go.
It's a little early, but I haven't seen them down there messing around for about 2 weeks. When I do see people down there, it's maybe a couple of drive-by shouting.
Street toward Ivy Avenue. Tillamook Sporting Goods may be closed by the time you arrive.
Oh, it will be.
600 feet, turn right onto First Street. 600 feet, turn left onto US 101 North Pacific Avenue. Turn left onto US 101 North Pacific Avenue.
It looks like there's an ambulance coming, so I'm gonna have to pull over. Alright. Well, that worked. I can check my mail today, shouldn't I? Not that anybody's gonna send me anything, but if you want to send me something,
Turn left onto Ocean Avenue.
it's Sean Schwartz, P.O. Box 701, Tillamook, Oregon. Oh, there's a cop at the station. And okay. He's even got his lights
Take the
pointing.
next left onto First Street, then turn right onto US 101 North.
My engine's overheating. Take a left here. Oh, he's pulling out behind me. I wonder which one it is. Whoa. Alright. We'll see if there's anything in my mailbox. If you can't tell, I'm not a big fan of police. For good reason. When you're poor, you're not a person. Not to the police especially. When your family don't give a shit, they spend all their money on stupid shit, you're probably gonna be broke. Now some of y'all got this fantasy that if you work hard enough, well, that has a lot to do with where you started off and what influence you have. And of course, Although everybody wants to claim they did it all themselves. What help you have along the way? Would you have that good job if your boss had not given you a chance? Would you have a shitty job if your boss didn't give you a chance? Good questions. Alright, let's hope I can find my keys here. Of course, I was able to find my vehicle keys, but I have to readjust everything. Every time I gotta find something, I gotta readjust the whole vehicle. And people don't stop giving suggestions. Are you gonna help me to do any of those suggestions? No. You're just gonna boss me around and pretend it's free. Pretend it's not costly for me mentally and physically to even try doing the shit that you're, of course, insistent I do. If I don't do this, it means I'm not trying to help myself. If I don't do that, it means I'm not trying to help myself. If I don't jump through 4,000 fucking hoops other than turning in my goddamn predators, then I'm not helping myself, huh? If I don't let you take advantage of me, then I'm not helping myself. Isn't that right? When you guys can't agree on the color of shit, but every one of you idiots has your own idea of how this is magically fixed. Meanwhile, none of you listen to my fucking side. I'll send you the goddamn evidence, but you gotta fucking look at it. You actually gotta look at it instead of just fucking talking shit. There's a lot of people who promised up and down that if I sent them the evidence, they'd help me to turn it in. Here's proof that I'm telling the truth. Yeah, Sean, that's proof that you're telling the truth. Well, I also sent it to the cops, and they claimed they couldn't see it. Can you see it? Yeah, Sean, I can see it. Well, will you speak up? Oh, yeah, Sean, I'll speak up. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe the next day. Maybe the day after that. Maybe. Oh, yeah, Sean, I think it's horrible. I decided to send you a friend request because I saw all those people being mean to you and threatening you and all that. And I thought it was horrible that nobody was helping you to turn it in. Really? You gonna help me turn it in? Oh, yeah, sure, Sean, I'll help you turn it in. And then what happens? More fucking procrastinating. They'll get around to it eventually. One of these days, they'll have the time. When you go out of your way to do the most hurtful thing that you can to somebody, when you literally go out of your way to pretend like you're going to help someone, just so you can find out how you can hurt them, and then do that immediately. Promise that you're not going to, and then do that exact thing immediately. Do you care about that person, or are you gaslighting? And then you want to make fun of me because I'm trying to get fucking help. Actual fucking help. Not pretty goddamn lies out of fucking junkies. And how dare I say junkie, right? Because a lot of you feel bad for your fucking junkie family out on the street, right? No, the fuck you don't, or they wouldn't be out on the street. A lot of you want to bring up friends and family that you have that are complete and total fucking junkies. Whenever it comes to helping me out, it's not about helping me out, it's about you talking about your goddamn junkie friend. Are you talking about the time something like that almost happened to you? Almost once, a long time ago, right? People aren't interested in fucking helping. Most of these people are so fucking attention starved, they're just glad somebody will pretend to fucking care about them, right? Well, for the most part, yeah. For me, it's not that I don't fucking care about them. I don't have to fucking pretend to care about people. It's a matter of these people make promises and they don't keep their words. They don't recognize that there are consequences for me. Having to believe these fucking people. For them to play something different after the fact. Just like that dipshittiest Maximus the other day. How often does that happen? And of course, I'm not allowed to stand up to anybody, because if I do that, then it's my fault. I deserve the abuse, because I stood up to the fucking abusers. What the fuck is wrong with you stupid pieces of shit? And then with the rampant victim blaming and victim shaming. Alright. That hurt like a son of a bitch, but guess fucking what? At least I found my goddamn keys. Let's go inside and see what we can get out of the mailbox, if anything. Zero chance of me getting to eat my ramens tonight. I have no teeth. And I have no hot water. There's also zero chance of me getting actual help here because I have no fucking friends here. No support network here. Same problem I had as a kid. You can't make people care. You can't make people do their jobs. You can't make the people that are supposed to love you actually love you. And you know what? Those people will make a big show of it in public. Saying, oh, I care about you. I care about you. Really? When I'm harmed, you show how much you care about me. That's when you show me. When you're too busy to listen. When people are assaulting me, threatening to kill me, threatening to kill my friends and family, you want to pretend that you're my friend. By doing what? How do you show me that you're my friend? By talking about things you're never going to do. Things that you are never, ever going to keep your word about. After you've made your empty promises and you've broken every one of them, and then you want to be angry with me, because after you broke every one of your promises, I spoke up. I also recorded the fact that you made those promises, and recorded the tantrum that you threw when I exposed the fact that you lied to me. If you didn't lie to me, you should have no problems coming forward about it to the police. Portland Business Journal. Accountability. Are the promises made in 2020 and beyond being kept? Oh, and it's got two white girls being lorded over by a black girl. Cute. Is there any accountability in the power here? No, there's not. I told you all about Tillamook and how crooked it is. By the way, I didn't get any mail. So what's next? Back to the vehicle and plug in my phone. Hope I don't get fucked with at the sporting goods store. I did find a package of crap. It's all crushed up because I don't have any teeth. But it was also opened a while ago, so it's pretty stale. Hell, it's food, isn't it? I think a great job for me would be to throw smoke. I'm not going to go pointing guns at people and shooting them, but if people are trying to get away, I don't mind throwing a little smoke their way, a little diversion. The people in state of Oregon have shown that they don't care about the people or state of Oregon. Let's try not to waste too much of this gas. I'm thankful for the man from Mexico who put 2 gallons in. I'd like to get the best use out of that 2 gallons. That cop just drove by again. There's another one.
Take the next right onto US 101 North Pacific Avenue. Continue on US 101 North for 1 mile.
Any pound drive killer on this thing. I did have a corn dog earlier. I also have some salt or some ketchup and mustard packets. I don't like ketchup very much by itself, and I don't like mustard very much by itself. But if you put them both together, it's not bad for a meal. Like there's anybody down here turning around and fucking around. So it should be alright.
Your destination is on the right.
I'm not really up for a walk. Otherwise, I'd walk around and see if there's any change. Actually, I'll go a little further over here, because over here, I don't have to try stepping up the steps. There's a decent one. Alright, I got a little bit too much cracker stuck on my lips. There's a penny. I'll take it. Oh, the pizza smells good. First annual Seafood and Spirits Festival, rousing success in Garibaldi. Oh, that's cool. Oh, nice. That's goddamn half a fucking cigarette right there. I'll take that son bitch. Rip the ass end out of it. Smoke it on the tube. Oh, boy, there's somebody's really wrong from earlier. Hell yes, I'll put that with mine and we'll get a full cigarette out of it later. Here's another one. Looks like it's a menthol, but I'll take it anyway. Well, that run. All these people who promised me if I did what they wanted that they would help me did not care how much time or money it cost. What they cared about was being controlling, about making promises, not keeping their end of the deal, and then whining like mules when they don't keep their end of the deal, and I speak up. I want to walk over by the bank. Maybe somebody dropped $1 or $2 somewheres over there. Not usually, but I did find a 20 over there one night. Oh, that's a different looking cat. I wonder who it goes to. I have to look it up. Looks like one of the plugs that they put when you get a brand new engine. And all the hoses that go to it are all clogged up. Bonjour. Good to see you, Scott. Do what? I couldn't make hide or hair of what he was saying, so couldn't tell if he was trying to talk or cough. I figure whatever it is, if it was all that important, he'd have probably spoken up just a little bit louder. Doesn't look like anybody dropped any money. That's right. I'm fucking exhausted. On the bright side, I'm allowed to sit in the bitch, right? See, that's one of the things about being disabled, is that people don't fucking help you. They assume it's somebody else's job. You're disabled. All the things that you're able to do, and you have friends and family that actually help you with, you assume the government's going to do that for us. No, the fuck they're not. Not without a friend or family member who cares. That's what it all comes down to. Does anyone give a fuck about you? Do they show that they give a fuck about you? Do they show the courts that they give a fuck about you? Do they show the police that they give a fuck about you? No. No, they don't. And all these folks who wanted to make me empty promises that if I spent my money on this and I spent my money on that they'd help me. And I spent my money on what they wanted me to spend it on. And where were they? Still ain't nowhere to be found. Still ain't got the time. Oh, they'll make promises though. If I do this, they'll make the time. If I do that, they'll make the time. Oh, Sean, if you take down that video, I'll make the time. You said you'd make the time before. And the evidence was in that video, and you want me to take down the evidence, huh? That's not gonna fucking happen. I might make it private if you keep your fucking word, but you gotta keep your word first. because you didn't keep your word last time. Of course, it's not like any of those people actually talk to me anymore. Why would they? They admitted to me that they were drug dealers, and I posted it publicly. They admitted they were drug addicts or alcoholics, and I posted it publicly. They got mean or violent with me, and I posted it publicly. And when they played victim, well, I posted it publicly. You pretend like I'm a bad person for recording the abuse that I endure. But you applaud it if someone else does it. If Sammy Leon Lawrence IV or Zayd Atkinson have to deal with abuse from Officer Whale and Lola Tai, you'll help them get every goddamn thing they need to show the fucking truth. With me, you did every goddamn thing you could to prevent me from showing the truth. How the fuck are any of you pieces of shit friends? How could you ever fucking dare to pretend to be my friend doing shit like that? How many of you helped me? Right away. Not a goddamn one of you. And you say I'm selfish for needing that help right away. No. If you don't go in with me right away, I get talked over. And then I get talked over again and again and again and again. And then they say, oh, well, you should have called 911 to begin with. Motherfuckers. Lazy motherfuckers. Goddamn, my back hurts like a son of a bitch and my legs keep cramping up. I'm hungry as fuck.
I live up Craft River, so we and my parents are very particular on their dogs. They're very. We both live in RVs, so we're like, yeah, no, we don't want these things in RVs.
Yeah, me too. I medicate them and everything, but when we moved that first year, it was like they were in the yard. They were in the yard, and I was gonna have to medicate the yard. You know?
Piece of grass and stuff. Like, how am I gonna do this?
I know they had it like a super easy
Alright.
way to do it, that it's like no brainer, but I can't remember what it was. I think it's just that powder, the carpet powder stuff or something. Yeah, it was something. Whatever they told me is super easy. Like that's a really good idea.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I love dogs. I just think they taste best with barbecue sauce.
This night needs to hurry up and get over with.
Yes, sir. on the bright side, trolls are easy to block. On Facebook and YouTube. Not so easy in real life. Meanwhile, it doesn't matter what happens. Cops aren't going to listen to me. Any excuse is a good excuse. I'll talk about trolls. And the person typing about Lenny wants to type, how am I a troll? Well, in fact, you assume that was about you. You're so vain. You probably think this song's about you. You're so vain. You probably think the song is about you, don't you? Do I have such a lovely singing voice or what? See, the thing about all these folks who pretended to care, did they ever bother to find out what was going on? No. And that's what shows they don't care and never did. They didn't bother to find out what was going on. They were too busy dispensing shitty advice. Oh, looks like there's a couple of cops across the street parked all crooked. Well, obviously there wasn't a shooting there. Learn some more about the bull spike. If it'll play.
Hello guys, today we will take range. We press this knob toward ourselves. We can go 150, 250, at the maximum range 350 meters. Temperature correction is done on the side in the end. Plus 10 degrees you leave it on plus. When you have minus temperatures you flip this one around. To compensate for the lower performance of the propellant in cold weather. Today I will be firing the one that got its rear sight missing during mission. Basically it detached, so I will be shooting only on 50 meters. Full spike! For curiosity, you can see that the trigger system is exactly the same on the bull spike, like on the RPG-22. This is from blown up RPG-22. You just cock the firing spring like so by erecting the rear. Cock the firing spring like so by erecting the rear sight. In case of bull spike, it's just a cover. And here we have a trigger that move this firing pin, basically this long firing pin that continue to the capsule at the end of the launcher and make the rocket go off. Also, when you have a misfire, you can do on most types of RPGs, just put the sight down, put it back up, and that's how you recock the firing mechanism again. Overall, I think bull spike is a great system, especially the fact that you can choose out of 3 types of warheads. After rectifying, correcting, redesigning the sight system, it will be the perfect option for any Eastern European army that's looking to replace the legacy systems. And biggest thank to you guys, to my viewers and supporters, because only thank to you, my comment actually allowed me to fire these systems. So thank you very much for that, and it's all only thank to you. guys, today we will take a look at Bullspike Bulgarian single-use RPG made by VMZ. Bullspike have a three versions: anti-tank, thermobaric and anti-personnel. Today we will take a look at the anti-tank version. This grenade launcher is supplied in 5 pieces per crate. Inside we can find the standard PG-22 warhead, basically the same warhead like on RPG-7, but with different type of motor. VMZ claim that they did some magic with motor. Basically, majority of the thrust is on the beginning and inside the grenade launcher. That should result in better accuracy. Caliber of the launcher is 72.5 millimeter, capable to penetrate 400 millimeters of rolled homogeneous armor. Where I see the biggest advantage over the RPG-22 NATO, which launcher is based on, is the compactness, the very low weight, and also the easiness of use. Grenade traveling 133 meters per second. VMC applied to be part of the Polish Soldier of Future program with this type of grenade launcher. Main advantages over standard RPG-22 is that basically once you set the range, we will get back to this, you basically just pull out the ring, lift, cover up, and under you have a trigger that you press from the top down and
RPG 75M, it's even.
Hello guys, I have a new interesting concept. It's called Frontline Reviews. Today we will take a look at RPG-75 from Czechoslovakia. The gun was developed in the 70s. The caliber is 68 millimeters of the rocket, okay? But it's not a rocket, it's a grenade.
Alright.
It's pretty much the same system.
So that fella's calling himself
It's
John
even fired in kind of survey like it before.
for
Because
just wanting to play head games. So I blocked this on my channel.
it's not a rocket, there is only the explosion of start that gives the maximum speed to the grenade inside. Construction-wise, the bonus is that it's much less sensitive to the wind. There are no fins also on this grenade. The grenade itself explodes at 1000 meters. The effective range is around 300 meters, also 300 meters is the maximum data on the site. The weight is 3.2 kilograms. The body, it's made out of metal, okay? That's because it's launcher, it's not a rocket, so the body needs to be relatively sturdy. This launcher is capable to penetrate 300 millimeters of rolled homogeneous armor, which is enough for armored vehicles, not enough for modern tanks. The speed, the maximum speed of the grenade on the muzzle, it's 189 meters per second. Arming distance, it's 4 to 12 meters. After that, the grenade arms and pretty much is ready to explode. Now, how to deploy this launcher? We have a joke that it's like War and Peace book to read the manual and make this launcher armed. Anyway, the sling is very thin but adjustable. You need
Yep, I'm having some loading issues.
very thin but adjustable. You need to first remove this cover, press this button. The front side deploys, also you can see the tip of the grenade. Then you have this yellow line. You turn it, extend the launcher and turn it back. Now you can see here the primer, here is the hammer that gets triggered by this rod. When you do that, you just erect the rear side, like this. It has temperature compensation, it's a beep side. You can see how fine the lines in the front side is. Then remove this, break this plumb, remove this safety pin. Break this plumb, remove this safety pin. Your trigger finger, depressing on this, that safety, and you fire it with your thumb, exactly as 84.
I think it's tiny.
So you just acquire your target, Press down on this. After removing the safety pin, press out, press with your trigger finger and fire it with your thumb. In the case that, okay, you don't want to make the shot, you collapse the side back, unlock, collapse the launcher, lock it back, collapse the front side and put the protective cap back on. This launcher have also its thermobaric variant, which were adopted by Polish Special Forces for Special Forces. For us, we have mostly only those cumulative ones. They are freshly made in 2022. They are called RPG-75M, and generally this one lives on side of my backpack in case of anything unexpected happened.
Well, them cops are still across the street.
If you are gunner, you might ask yourself, how are these things spec'd? Ask yourself, how are these things packaged when they come to the units? They are pretty much in the same philosophy like RPG-7, 6 pieces per crate, but they are individually wrapped in this sealed package.
I wonder what they're up to.
Open it up. The ends have plastic protective covers.
Probably wasting tax dollars, I would suppose.
The plastic is very sturdy and can take some beating. And this is how you would put the RPG on your rucksack. Here just added duct tape to keep the sling tucked away. The hearing protection coming with those is actually not too bad. Even in the most modern Russian RPGs, you still get 2 cotton pieces to double for your hearing protection. Here you have a wax in plastic that actually complements the shape of your eardrum, and actually give you good protection, and you can pull it out easily. Overall, Overall, it's an interesting weapon system, but currently I would opt it if I feel the need of having light RPG or backpack as a backup. I would go for anything like RPG-18, Mucha, which is like the worst. It's basically equivalent of law. In the best case scenario, RPG-22 NATO or Bull Spike, Bulgarian RPG, because the warhead itself is like on RPG-7s. That means much more capable. I'm more used to the rockets, not just to the launchers. And this, I must say, I fired only 1 rocket, and I find it kind of finicky, weak, and inaccurate. But that brings me to my second point. For any anti-tank rocket, in my opinion, you need to shoot minimum 2 rockets. In one session, preferably having emptied your before, dry fire it, do many times the procedure to fire the weapon to even have some chance of hitting anything. Ideally, you would have 10 rockets just for training, and do it on 10 rockets just for training, and do it on 5 occasions, 2 times 2 rockets per session. Like that, I believe you can become capable operator of any anti-tank weapon, meaning simple handheld ones, not javelins. I would not be carrying this one in missions, only if it's like the last option. For me, it's interesting to get my hands on it, and you never know when you will find yourself in position when the only weapons available to defend it would be those. So that's why there is value in training with all types of weapon. So thank you very much guys for support and for watching, and see you in the next videos.
And what do you say about it? You said it's weak. But in a pinch, it's better than nothing. Plus, it's lightweight. It's small. It's compact. And it folds up even smaller than its
RGGM is
compactness.
the latest generation of Russian smoke grenade that's indicated by the M at the end, meaning modernized.
Matador. RGW90 Matador. See if it'll play it.
Hello guys, let me introduce you what I think it's the best unguided anti-tank system today, and that it's available on the international market. So here we have RGV-90HH, unguided anti-tank missile. Why is it, in my opinion, one of the best? It's the performance and it's the simplicity of use. Made by Dynamit Nobel in conjunction with Singaporean and other German basically manufacturers and armed forces. The original demand came out of Singapore. Germans helped out to make it happen, and this is improved version of it called Matador. The total weight is 8.9 kilograms. The maximum range it's 500 meters, but it's more like aerial targets. It's 500 meters, but it's more like aerial targets. Better it's use it up to 200-300 meters. There is possibility of mounting a night vision on this one. Basically, we have a flip-up module here with Picatinny rail. Here the Picatinny rail is missing already. It should be here. Because we tossed this one around a lot, the rail broke off. The primary sighting system is this foldable optic with very positive index, very positive locking mechanism. You can fold it on both sides. Here it's in use. I will insert a picture of the reticle, which seems kind of confusing, but at the end it's extremely intuitive. After putting up the optic as your sighting system, you can deploy the butt pad. Again, just with pressure, like so. Then the front handle. Again, just pressure downwards. And then the rear handle, which also cocked the firing mechanism. The rear handle, which also cocked the firing mechanism. Put tension on the firing mechanism spring. Locked safely in place. And now to shoot it, you don't need to remove any caps, nothing. You just use the safety with your thumb, sight it in, and you are ready to go. Also is confined space usable, so you can shoot it out of small rooms without giving yourself and others concussion, which is, yeah, it's amazing. The counterweight for it, it's plastic pellets, so basically they act as the counterweight for the projectile to get the impulse from. They fly out from the other side. The safe distance is 2-3 meters. What it can beat? It can beat up to 5 centimeters of homogeneous armor, which is amazing performance. 84 can do only like 350 millimeters. Feature that I like a lot about this one. It's a combined mode. It can do either hash, which mean against brick wall, against structures, it basically penetrates up to 3 rows of brick and kills with explosion behind the bricks. Behind the bricks with overpressure. For this hash mode, you just keep this rod in as in transport position. Now for the heat mode, You just apply pressure like so. Remove the distance rod all the way and twist it as the arrow tell you until this yellow line appear. In this configuration, it's ready to be used as an anti-tank weapon with the maximum performance of up to 5 centimeters of road homogeneous armor. So in a normal position, as I carry it on me, it's always retracted in case of tanks. If there is need to breach a structure, I will always have enough time to put the rod back into the squish mode. Put the rod back into the squish mode, unscrew it, press it in, I'm done. Another great feature of this system is that the projectile is engineered in such way that is kind of insensitive to the side wind. So you don't need to do any wind corrections, you just use the reticle for the speed of the moving object and it will land there always, okay? Of course, there are limits to that. If the wind is extreme, of course, it will influence it, but generally it's not something you need to count with.
Not much fun, not much entertainment, is it? Yeah, it fucking sucks. I don't mean that there's nothing bad happening. I mean that I don't have any friends or family. I can't see my friends and family. I gotta hope that somebody here actually understands, but that ain't a happening thing, is it? When people do harmful shit to me and then they play victim, they automatically win. Doesn't stop me from telling the truth about them.
Guys, today we will take a look at the smoke grenade, arguably the best smoke grenade produced currently. It's L84A3 by Rheinmetall. L84A1 basically had different shape of spoon, kind of different detonator, but pretty much from the A1 to generation, the principle is the same. It's a smoke grenade that produces smoke instantly, thanks to the substance, the main substance of the smoke grenade, that's red phosphorus. This is a commercial product of Rheinmetall, Germany, and shortcut for the designation is spherical. Basically, smoke screening hand grenade, okay? You can see the spoon secured by tape, that's what we do, and get it issued. You can see long detonator, and then it gets the hub as symbol of the red phosphorus substance. That's getting dispersed like in the video you've seen before. Now, why this is so fantastic and so important for us? For a simple reason. The only smoke grenades available to us are these RDG-2B. The only smoke grenades available to us are these RDG-2B, meaning white smoke, from Soviet times. I have separate video on those. You basically, okay, let's say you got contacted by the enemy, you need to rip both sides away, you need to take lighter, light it up, shake it to get like more oxygen to the substance, and if you are lucky in half minute, 1 minute, like after the contact you will get smoke, okay? Then we have this slightly updated commercial version made in Ukraine now. Principle still the same. You rip both ends, but in this one you have actually functioning detonator, very simple one, okay? That you just rip off and the smoke start producing too. Basically, by burning the substance, smoke is getting slowly released. With those, when you throw it, there is explosion and instant smoke screen, okay? That's why we like them so much, and they are like very essential and also very rare, especially in our location. So, to fit those in your gear, you need kind of specialized pouch, because normal hand grenade pouch is just too small to accommodate those, okay? But after slight adjustment to gear, this is the best way how to quickly provide smoke screen to secure your retreat, extraction of casualty, whatever. So, thank you for watching, guys, and see you in the next video. Hello guys, today we will talk about OZM-72 jumping mine. Made in Soviet Union, put into production into the year 72. Obvious. It's probably the most commonly used Soviet anti-personnel mine. Soviet mean Russian as well. The total weight of the mine, it's 5 kilograms. It does have 660 grams of explosives into it, and 2,400 pieces of shrapnel. The same cylinders like in the 150 anti-personnel mine. This one have two, you can see it in the picture. The most common way how to ignite this mine is with MOV series of fuse. That it's basically tripwire, and there is a scheme how to place this mine in the basic setup with all the stakes and wire that it's provided into the full kit. So basically it does cover 30 meters of the front line of the sector, 30 meter long sector. The legal radius of this mine is 25 meters with 100% hit probability. So basically you get 15 meters on right, 15 meters on left of the tripwire, so you are well covered with the shrapnels. How do we plant this mine? First of all, we must dug out a bit deep enough to conceal the whole mine. It might seem as fast task, but really it's a lot of digging, and you must make sure that you have good solid ground underneath. So in snow you put some brick under it, or in very soft ground you put bricks under it, or stakes on sides with wire
Two
running
things I
around.
can say for the
So
cops
there
here
is
in
that
Tillamook.
solid mess.
Number
That
one, they're
acts
all
as a base
cooks.
for the mine
Every one of
flying
them.
out. The propeller, it's 30 grams of basic black powder in the same pouch like on the Soviet mines for mortar mines. It's laying down here. Now, preparing this mine is a little bit confusing because here you have the capsule for the MOV detonator. So the whole fuse
I don't think
sticks
we
out
should
of
even
here.
have to give you
This
a
one
number
is training
two.
example. So it have the fuse pulled out.
Let's
But
hope
usually
the cops
you
don't
would
fuck
get
with
here
me tonight.
cover
Let's hope
and
no
little
youngins
cap
show up
with
to
a
fuck
primer
with
on
me.
it. But this channel, it's only the first stage.
If
of
some of
mine.
them youngins do
So
show up,
after the
hopefully it's
ignition,
not to fuck with
this
me.
channel run
Hopefully they
down
mind
and
their
ignite
business.
the black powder, so this
Hopefully
whole
we don't
cylinder
start any shit.
fly out. But you must always put number 8 detonator into this cavity, into the middle cavity. Number 8 detonator is the one most commonly used in all Soviet Yovitas. You can convert it for electric system, the basic number 8 blasting cap, but you would just drop it into this channel, and that acts as the main detonator. So once it fly out, there is the wire pulling back on the trigger pin, it fly out, and the trigger pin strikes the number 8 primer. So what happening sometimes with the uneducated EOD guys is that they get the mine from the set, they see the primer and they think, okay, it's good to go. They just put the fuse on it. Then I actually team another squad, like our secondary squad in the recon. It happened to them. Did they trigger the oscillator mine and just the cylinder fly out above the ground without any explosion? Like, thanks God for that, of course. But it's common mistake. So you always must have your number 8 detonators and drop one into this shaft. These two holes, they are just for filling of the explosive. So these are just technological. You don't pay any attention to those, although you can unscrew them easily too.
Another cop just showed up over there.
Now, when you're preparing the bit, you should make sure that it's really leveled, because if it gets canned a lot, the shrapnel distribution is not that great. And also, why I have saw here, when you plant these mines inside the forest, it doesn't give that much sense, because the trees around take a lot of the shrapnel.
about 5 minutes
But on the edge of the tree lines, there might be still some roots, so it's good to have little saw. When you dig the pit to really cut out the roots in the way, it does help a lot. Percentage-wise, this is the most commonly used anti-personnel mine in Soviet army, in Russian army. The 150 directional mine, that it's also plentiful, but still compared to this one, there is much less of it in the units. It really does take a lot of space in your backpack, because it's 5 kilograms of solid mass, okay? So it's common to take 2-3 to plant them, and that's about it, you know. But really, it's a great tool, great for securing perimeters, and you can really meet this type of time of mine very, very often. Also, the camouflaging of this mine, it's very, very easy, because you only need the move detonator system sticking out, and all this can be completely covered. But again, be careful, don't put too much gravel on it, really just a very, very little layer. If you would put too much ground on it, or some stones, then the ignition system might fail, because it really needs all the energy transited through the wire from the base to the body of the mine above the ground. If you take some force out of that, the ignition system might fail. So thank you very much, guys, for watching, and see you in the next video.
My job is to see the
This
future.
is called the Prig. P-R-I-G.
Trying to put together a mission. It's definitely crazy.
You make one in your own garage.
Take this house and everything that comes with it. Wisdom Scott, excommunicado. That's Latin for your
The Northern Irish Troubles, which lasted broadly from the late 1960s to the late 90s, was, to put it mildly, a deeply turbulent and traumatic period in British and Irish history. I won't go into the history of this episode, there are plenty of videos out there that explain it already, but essentially sectarian violence between Catholics and Protestants led to the long-term deployment of the British Army throughout the province of Ulster. For the Republican guerrilla forces, typified by the Irish Republican Army, the IRA, the deployment of British soldiers and the re-equipping of the Ulster police with lightly armoured vehicles represented a problem. They were largely very lightly equipped, reliant on small arms to conduct the hit-and-run raids and ambushes that they used to inflict casualties on the security forces. Logical tactics, because in any stand-up fight against the authorities, they were almost inevitably going to get the worst of it. Firearms could be more easily smuggled into the territory, stored in secret caches, and retrieved for use in operations before being hidden away again than heavier weapons. But the increased use of armoured vehicles by the security forces meant that the IRA's active cells had great difficulty in doing damage in their attacks. As a result, naturally, weapons like IEDs, emplaced in culverts under roads, became a standard tactic. But this did limit the IRA unit's tactical capabilities and exposed them to interception during the setting up of any such attack. What they really needed were light anti-armour weapons. International support, primarily from Libya, meant that a very limited supply of such weapons, mainly RPG-7s, from the Warsaw Pact countries, did get into their hands. And these could do formidable damage to the light vehicles utilised for internal security by the British Army and the Ulster Police. But numbers of these weapons were always limited and ammunition supplies extremely low. So the IRA began to develop weapons of their own that could destroy armoured vehicles. And this led to a quite frankly remarkable line in weapon development. Initial attempts were to develop a drogue grenade. This was a hand-thrown device, apparently modelled on the Soviet RKG-3 anti-tank grenade. Essentially built with a standard empty food tin as the body. This was then fitted with a shaped charge explosive that proved capable of penetrating the thin armour on British Army PIG APCs and the armoured Land Rovers used by the police. But it was a very short-ranged weapon, hardly ideal. The IRA's technical division then came up with what the British Army called the improvised projected grenade. This was a single-shot and reloadable grenade launcher of rather basic design. Though it did mean the user was able to launch an explosive projectile at greater range than the hand grenades, it was a primitive affair that wasn't particularly useful against moving vehicles. It seems instead to have been used mainly to fire high explosives over walls into security forces compounds. It also apparently had one hell of a kick, and anyone firing the device could expect to suffer a bruised shoulder. Obviously, this still wasn't up to what the IRA wanted, so they went back to the drawing board and in the early 1990s fielded a new weapon, the Projected Recoilless Improvised Grenade, or PRIG for short, again the British Army designation. And this was a huge improvement. A shoulder-fired weapon, the PRIG used the same tin can style projectile as the earlier drogue grenade. This had a 600 gram, 1 pound 5 ounce Semtex plastic explosive charge with a metal cone liner that acted as a heat-shaped charge, essentially the same type of warhead as used on many military anti-tank weapons. I haven't been able to find any definite figures on penetration capability, but such a warhead with a diameter of roughly 70 millimeters would be quite capable of punching through any target the PRIG was likely to be fired at. The PRIG itself was essentially a simple steel tube to which was affixed an electric trigger mechanism, often made up of a light bulb holder as an arming switch. Once armed, the main trigger could be pulled, which sent an electric current from standard household batteries to ignite the propelling charge. This was made up of a simple black powder explosive, nothing especially complicated there. But what was clever was the PRIG's projectile firing method. For this, the PRIG's designers borrowed from a contemporary anti-tank weapon, the Ambrust. Traditional recoilless weapons generally utilize the same method of operation. The propelling charge detonates, shooting the projectile forward. But the force that moves in the opposite direction, which would normally cause recoil, is allowed to vent out the back of the weapon. This, however, causes several issues. The backblast from a weapon, such as an RPG or recoilless rifle, is extremely loud and noticeable. It is also a problem for those wanting to use such a weapon in a confined space, such as a room, or even an enclosed urban area, such as an alleyway. In fact, the backblast can represent a significant hazard to the firer or other personnel if they are used in confined spaces without a suitable exit point for the force to vent. Conventional militaries generally train anti-tank weapon operators to bear this in mind as part of their qualification on these sorts of weapons. But the Ambrust utilised another method. Because every action has an equal and opposite reaction, the recoil of the weapon can be neutralised by a projectile of equal weight being fired in the opposite direction to the main projectile. The Ambrose did this by having the propelling charge located between two pistons, with the anti-tank projectile in front of one and a plastic counterweight behind the other. Of course, you don't want to be shooting a solid projectile out behind you, where it could ricochet all over the place, so the counterweight was composed of 5,000 plastic flakes that would immediately explode in the spray out of the rear of the Ambrose when it was fired. This reduced the danger zone behind an Ambrose firing to only 1 meter, which meant you could use an Ambrose to take on a main battle tank from an enclosed space and suffer nothing in immediate consequence except the world's most rapid confetti scattering. The effect would also minimise the weapon's flash and smoke signature, a very important consideration in a close-range ambush of an armoured vehicle. It was this counterweight concept that the Prig replicated. The propelling charge was located between the projectile and a dispersible counterweight that would negate the weapon's recoil when fired. And here the IRA took an interesting extra step. They weren't particularly keen on spending money on expensive plastic flakes that then had to be precisely packed into containers that would fit the Prig. They came up with a far simpler solution. The counterweight for the Prig projectile was 2 packets of digestive biscuits, a common and delicious snack that can be found in literally any shop in Britain. These would be wrapped in a suitable cloth and crushed up, and were then able to serve as the counterweight to the projectile. So, when you fired a Prig, what you got was an old soup tin or similar, capable of penetrating the armour of most APCs coming out of the front, whilst out of the back you got a fine spray of cookie crumbs. This all might seem a bit nuts, but the Prig does appear to have seen use. By the time of the IRA ceasefire in 1997, it had been used in several actions against the security forces, and a number had been recovered by the British, who concluded that some limited form of serial production was being undertaken of the weapon. The subsequent Good Friday Agreements of 1998 meant that peace finally came to Northern Ireland, and that peace has, largely, been maintained since. As a result, the Prigs have either been retired or returned to their hiding points in case of future need. But this much is sure, it remains an extremely interesting weapon, and one that fully demonstrates the ingenuity that can be put into these sorts of devices.
How's your night been?
Almost. How you doing tonight?
Good, you?
Fucking broke. Fucking broke. On the bright side, I was able to panhandle up some gas at least a little bit today. I ain't got enough for breakfast in the morning, but
Any people fucking with you tonight?
no, thank
Like
goodness.
trucks?
Do what?
Besides our loud trucks?
Oh, the loud trucks was never an issue. I mean, it prevented me from being sleeping, but it's all that goddamn racist shit and the fucking hateful crap. Like, it just grates on me. On the bright side, ain't nobody pulling that for, well, over almost 2 weeks now, at least, I think, down here. I mean, as far as the every night thing, because ain't hardly anybody been down here.
Yeah.
I haven't had to hear that girl screaming over here. She did that about every night. Like, fuck.
Good.
Ain't nobody out here tearing things up all the damn time, so it ain't too bad. Tomorrow's Sunday, so I think I'm gonna spend all day trying to, I don't know. I'm gonna panhandle up a coffee. That's it.
Alright, see ya. Sleep good.
Yep. I'll try. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
One of them youngins is that Carlos fella. He helped me to get off the goddamn ground when I had to walk back from the cop shop. Fuck the police. Someone calling himself Nolan Kovac types up. Hello, Nolan.
Lowe's knows the best pros.
Demand the best.
That's why Lowe's is bringing you the largest in-store selection of
I'm gonna try panhandling breakfast in the morning, probably.
I think individual first aid kit, it's a concept that is well established and together with DCCC methodology it works extremely well. Every individual in a unit carry IFAC on him. The idea is that when he get wounded, other person provide him with first aid using the material that the wounded person carry on him in his IFAC. Unfortunately, in setups like we have here, where you don't have that rigid SOPs, people usually don't stick to the one design of IFAC pouch, so you can see multiple designs on people, and that little bit ruining the concept. What happened to me in 2015 was that our team leader got wounded. I opened his IFAC, and there was just one Israeli bandage and little bottle of whiskey. So unfortunately, as a medic, I usually provide first aid from stuff that I carry on myself, like in my cargo packet and in my medical backpack. And when the casualty is moved and I'm still with the casualty, I just take his IFAC and like replenish my stuff on spot out of his IFAC. But the first aid is provided out of my stuff because I know where everything is. SOP that I really like and recommend is of course to have additional tourniquet on front of your vest or somewhere on your gear. I would say 1 to 2 tourniquets that way, and in the left cargo pocket of your pants everybody in the team should have one Israeli bandage and one additional tourniquet for quick and easy access without opening any pouch. IFAC pouch that most of our team, including me, using is a clone of LBT 9022B, which was IFAC made for, I guess, Navy SEALs back in the day. But this one is a knockoff made by Ukrainian company U-Tactic. It does use original multicam. They have also other colors. Unfortunately, this is not sponsored, but this is just what I grow to like very much out of the gear. The price of this pouch, it's only $10, okay? It's also very easy to manufacture, I guess, so I guess that's why it's so cheap. Advantage of this type of a pouch is that it's very silent to open, okay? You basically just have little piece of Velcro, you pull on this tab, like so. This securing mechanism detaches, and then the pouch pretty much opens. You just grab the content and pull it out, okay? Like so. So I have my tourniquet outside of the plastic bag. It just fall out for the immediate use. And then in the plastic bag, I have nicely together everything that I need for my IFAC. Now, what do I typically carry in my IFAC? It's a tourniquet on top. This one is Softy, Israeli made. Very quick application, but if you use CAT, it's no problem. Also, I just have this one in because it's easy, a little bit easier to fold it up. Then I have, instead of organizer, some textile organizer, I have just plastic bag. So, I have my hemostatic agent, just a Celox gauze. Then I have one 6-inch Israeli bandage. Then I have NPA nasal tube with adjustable ring, decompression needle, 2 chest seals basically for the entry and exit side, or if you have multiple penetrations, just have 2 of those. And that's it. Scissors, everybody should have one of them, but because this pouch is very compact, you should have it somewhere on your gear. I use Leatherman Raptor on my belt, and I have one additional scissor on top of my medical bag, so that's how I do it. Guys usually buy some little scissor pouch and have it somewhere on the plate carrier themselves. Another important item that everybody should have regarding IFAC kit are gloves, rubber gloves. I see often guys using the single-use North American Rescue bear claw gloves, but trust me, I worked in hospital for some time, for a few years, okay? You need normal nitrile blue gloves, and usually I stove multiple pairs in the rear pocket on my trousers, okay? Somewhere here I put like 4 pairs. They are very thin, and yeah, like that I can reach them, like that I get bloody, then I need to, for example, during moving the casualty, do some other stuff so I don't contaminate rest of my gear, or some documentation. I remove the gloves, then I need to treat the casualty again, or I need to treat more casualty, and I just reach back inside my back pocket to get another pair. Now, how to pack this IFAC pouch? So, I will just take plastic bag. Usually I'm taking one with zip closure, but this is just a normal plastic bag. And I try to put the things inside in order to fill the pouch evenly. So like this, my NPA, my decompression needle, Israeli bandage, like so, and my hemostatic gauze. I like Celox because of the volume, it's like really a lot of gauze. So, I do it like so, try to fold it as compact as possible. You have the back, so in the dark when you open it, there is not like eruption of items going around falling on the floor, but you can still keep it nicely like this. And even when there is dark, you can just by the feel in your fingers find the right item that you're looking for. Now I tuck this in. And then I add my tourniquet on top. Unlike on CAT, there is really no specific way how to fold the softy. This is just how I do it, to have the tourniquet freely on top. So it's the first thing that I can reach. But you can also put it in the plastic bag, that's not a problem. Now when I pressed all of the items in, now the by far trickiest part with this type of pouch is how to close it. So, I'm taking my cables, put it through, there is small spot of velcro underneath, here is little tab of velcro as well. So I just attach it on the velcro like so, then I have these two cables that cross here, and they will be closing the pouch that way. Now, guys have usually problems that the ends of the cables are very hard to pull through the closing tabs, but there is trick for it. All what you need is AR-15 cleaning kit or SCAR-16 cleaning kit, like this one here. Take your cleaning rod with the end that have the thread on it. You go first. You take this and start to pulling it through the tabs. One tab on one side, one tab on the other. Once you manage to pull the cleaning rod through half of the tabs, then you take your cable, and there is a hollow spot on the cleaning rod, and you just stick it in, like so, and then just pull through. And this will nicely thread it to the end. So we have one side pretty much done. Then this end of cable we just stuck inside the pouch, so we don't have any snag, like so. That's one side done, and then we repeat on the other side as well. Okay, we passed our cleaning rod through, put the cable into the hollow end of the cleaning rod, and pass it through. It is very subjective what iFed pouch you like. This time just worked for me, thanks to the compactness and that it doesn't snag anywhere, and I can have it on my belt on my 6 o'clock, driving car comfortably, just resting on the pouch. So guys, all this medical stuff, all these items, they are very expensive. There is a lot of so-called influencers in the YouTube scene that basically say you need to buy all this stuff before you go and train, before you go to the shooting range. No, you really don't need any of it, okay? You don't need any IFAC if your goal is just to go shoot some guns and enjoy yourself, okay? But eventually, yes, you should put one together, carry it with you. Now, there is also cheaper alternatives to most of the stuff, okay? Instead of using the fancy hemostatic gauze, you can use normal gauze that don't have the hemostatic agent, because majority of the effect is anyway in the application and in the physics of it, that you're just creating enough pressure inside the wound, and the hemostatic agent is just an add-on, okay? So you can save ton of money this way. You can buy some cheaper stuff. You can buy used tourniquets, basically to be only as a training tool for you to do your repetitions with your team, how to apply this kind of stuff. And you really don't need to buy the sealed fancy new stuff that is actually supposed to be used in emergency situation. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video. introduce latest and greatest Russian Army night vision. The first mention about this type of night vision I found in an article from 2019, basically stating that development and implementation of this system into the Russian Air Force were due to an accident that occurred in 2016 in Syria, where an E-27A helicopter had basically the pilot lost orientation and it crashed on 12th of April 2016. All that happened during the night, and the pilot and the crew were using the system that was previously in the Russian army for all the helicopter pilots called ONV-1 Skosop. So they find that one inefficient. Around the same time, there was the development of the latest two-rotor Ka-52 Kamov alligator helicopter, which is the most modern attack helicopter the Russian Army, Russian Air Force have these days. So basically, in conjunction of development of this latest helicopter, the company called NPV Geofysica NV, which is just a factory in Russia, developed this binocular, which is called GEO-ONV-101M. So that's not a very catchy name, but whatever. This is the latest and greatest. How did we got these ones? Where they are from pilot and the gunner of a shutdown Ka-52 helicopter that find their way into Ukraine, killing civilians, as they usually do. They got shut down. Now what is very important to state is it wasn't shut down by my squad. We don't know the guys that shut down this helicopter. Anyway, great respect to all of them. In total, we shoot like 18 of those helicopters already, the Ka-52s, as Ukrainian army as a whole. So this binocular, it's supposed to be Gen 3 with Russian-made intensifiers. Of course, the Russian articles claim that it's much better than ANVIS. There is no analog of those in the West. Of course, all that is lie, because this is Gen 3 night vision, but that's about it. We will get to the weaknesses of this system just in a second. Now, who use those type of goggles? It's all the helicopter pilots. How you become a helicopter pilot in Russian army? It's very simple. First, you are usually a combat aircraft, basically a jet pilot, but over the time, you must be very fit for jet pilot, but over the time you realize that you are nothing compared to NATO, your training suck, your life suck, you live in Russia, your wife cheating on you, you drinking with your friends and you become fat. This way you become helicopter pilot in Russian army. And as helicopter pilot, you are eventually issued those. So guys, I'm outside in the residential area. There is relatively bright night. Also some light on the streets. Of course, many houses are abandoned. But the tubes in the night vision are auto-gated, and I will just try to show you a picture through the tubes. Okay, something like this, yeah. Here we have road. That light that you can see from the house on the right, it's not visible for me, so it's IR. Forest, undergrowth of forest, yeah, and we continue. Here we can see road downwards. So as you can tell, really this night vision is pretty fantastic, especially compared to the PVS-14 that I were using majority of my service in the past. So given that it's generation 3 night vision, they need during the day have a covers in front, because even when the goggles are turned off, they can damage themselves from intense light. So we lost the covers in one of the missions, that's why this pair is covered like this, yeah? Just the front lens needed to be covered. Of course, there are two dudes in Ka-52, the pilot and the shooter, that's why we have two of those. So, To unfold them from the helmet, you need to press button on the side. You fold them. Here you have a socket for 3V. Of course, from the helicopter you can loot only those. Then what you do is to order on black market from Russia this type of connector, which is extremely rare, and put it on Western battery pack.